Your Honors, my name is Jeffrey Adams and I represent Claire Plainview, the appellant in this matter. This matter is about pollutants that are being released in the vicinity of her reserve to ensure that a factory can achieve increases in productivity and production goals, and the effects that those pollutants are having on Claire's health and on her rights as protected by the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. But ultimately, it's about who should pay for a factory to maximize its productivity and profitability. On October 10th, 2018, the director of the Ministry of the Environment exercised a discretionary power authorizing Vulcan to increase its emissions of benzene to more than 6 times the usual regulatory standard. And we say that decision is unreasonable for 2 reasons. It doesn't comply with statutory requirements, and it unjustifiably violates Claire's charter rights. Now, one of the statutory requirements that the minister must meet in exercising her discretionary power is to ensure that the site-specific exemption is the minimum it can be while still enabling the person to comply with the regulations. This statutory requirement presents an insurmountable problem that's fatal to my friend's case because the math doesn't work. Now, Vulcan originally received an environmental compliance approval from the minister to upgrade its factory with the goal of increasing production volume by 35%. That's a multiplier of 1.35. But when the upgrades were completed and production began at the increased capacity, emissions were found to be 6 times the regulatory standard. But instead of reducing production volumes, which would have also reduced benzene production volumes, Vulcan requested a site-specific exemption to produce more pollution, specifically in order to meet its production demands. And they got it, but not for 1.35 times more benzene, for 6 times more benzene. The math doesn't work. It's unreasonable. And the fact is that everyone living within a 10-kilometer radius of that factory is being harmed. But because of her indigeneity, Claire is being disproportionately harmed. And that's because everyone else in the area who's not Indigenous, who's not living on reserve, can move. But Claire can't. She can't move away without turning her back on her way of life. She can't move away without abandoning her constitutionally protected right to live on reserve. She can't move away without suffering significant damage to her indigeneity. And she can't stay without personally paying for Vulcan to achieve its profitability goals with her health. That's unreasonable. Now, ultimately, what we're asking of this honorable court is to accept the dissenting opinion of Justice Victoire in the Court of Appeal and to restore the decision of the panel of the Divisional Court. Because we say that when the legal issues are properly framed, the correct outcome is that an unjustifiable infringement of Ms. Plainview's rights is made out, and in light of that, the decision of the minister must be found to be unreasonable. Thank you. Those are my opening remarks.